were a kid and someone asked you what you wanted to be when you grow up, how many of you said, "I want to be a firefighter"? I know I did. Hello, I'm Riley McClellan and welcome to In the Flames. On today's show, we'll find out exactly what you have to do to become a firefighter. We'll also talk more about the Lancaster Fire Expo coming up. Don't touch the remote because we'll be right back.
You'll never know my strength, my pain, the pressure. You'll never know the truth of my endeavors. But I'm alright as long as I smile. Things are good cause I'm positive today. I have something left to say. My heart's at peace, but prepared for war if needed, men always see.
Rushing into a burning building to save someone, riding in the big shiny fire trucks, and sliding down the pole. When you hear these things, you automatically think of a fireman. But what does a fireman really do, and what does it take to become a fireman? Here to tell us more about the Lancaster Fire Department and what the job of a fireman is, Fire Chief Justin McClellan. So what made you want to become a firefighter?
Early in life, like a lot of kids, I thought it'd be a cool job to have. As I was growing up, I was big in sports, played sports throughout my young kid and I was in high school. And then when I was 14, 15, and 16, I attended a fire cadet camp throughout the summer to learn about being a firefighter. And that sparked my interest. Then after graduating high school and going to college, decided to start volunteering, and I really just fell in love with the job as a firefighter, and that's what made me want to end up doing it.
How many training hours does it take to become a certified firefighter?
To get fully certified to where we would ask for a firefighter to be is usually a little over 300 hours of training just to get your basics in, and then from there it would take a lot of continuing ed hours and taking a lot of other classes to get you to the advanced level of what we ask our employees to be.
What is one of the best experiences you've had in the past working at the Lancaster Fire Department?
Personally, for me, it was being named chief. A little over 6 years ago, I was appointed, chief of the department by City Council, and it was a goal of mine as I've gone through the fire service, through the ranks, was to one day become the chief, and it happened, like I said, a little over 6 years ago, so that was one of the highlights of my career.
Does the fire department have a budget every year? If so, what is it?
They do. This year, our budget is a little over $2.1 million, and that includes all of our salaries and benefits for employees, as well as our operating expenses, such as putting fuel in the trucks and buying turnout gear and equipment that we would need. So it's a little over $2.1 million.
How has being a fireman changed your fire safety at home?
Just really making sure I stay on the kids, making sure that they are being smart at what they do, not overloading electrical outlets, making sure that they're paying attention if they're in the kitchen, they're cooking, not leaving things unattended. So just really just make sure our smoke alarms work, batteries are in them, we change them twice a year to make sure things are safe in the house. So a lot of things that the normal person probably doesn't think about, but just because I'm a firefighter, I think about those things a lot more.
When do you normally fill up the trucks? How much is it for a full tank nowadays?
We try to keep our trucks full at all times. If they get to 3/4 full, then we make sure that they filled up. On average right now, with fuel prices the way they are, if they were completely empty, it'd probably be around $225, $250 to fill it up, but because we keep them, like I said, no less than 3/4 if at all possible. It's usually anywhere from $50 to $100 to fill them back up.
What is the most common emergency call?
For us personally at the City Fire Department, it's medical calls and wrecks. We run a lot of medical calls and unfortunately a lot of wrecks as well, just due to people not paying a lot of attention when they're on the road and having accidents.
Okay, what time of day are y'all the busiest, and why do you think that?
It varies. I would say it's a lot of times early in the morning when people are getting on the road, going to work, going to school, things like that, and then again the same time in the afternoon when people are going home. It just seems to a lot of people are on the roadway, so again accidents are occurring, and then just medical calls, that's random. It just depends on the time of day. There's no really certain hour, but most of the time I would say early in the morning and in early evenings.
What is the role of a cylinder, and how many do you go through to fight a fire?
Basically, it's there just to provide clean breathing air for the firefighters if they're in a hazardous atmosphere. They wear it on their back so that they can supply the breathing air to them if they're inside of a house fire or inside of a hazardous chemical, something that gives them clean, fresh air to be able to breathe inside of it to mitigate the situation. And just depends again on how big the call is. A lot of times we may go through one cylinder, it may be two. If it's a prolonged incident, then of course it'll be more, but we try to just make sure that we limit as many times as guys are having to go through and change out.
Okay, how is your fire station different from other fire stations?
Really, for the most part, it's not. Ours, we have, because we're a career fire department, we have people sleeping at our stations 24/7. So we have bedrooms, and the guys are sleeping there, and we have kitchens just like your home, so they're having to cook their meals at the station or whatever. Where I guess different from a volunteer department where there's people not actually living at the station. So that would be one of the main reasons we actually have living quarters for the guys to stay there.
Okay. How is being a firefighter for the Lancaster Fire Department qualified to drive the truck?
To get qualified to drive our trucks, they have to have the appropriate driver's license, so they have to make sure that they obtain the right driver's license from the DMV, just like anybody who's going to get a license. They have to go and get their Class E driver's license. It's a different classification, so they go through that process. Once they have that, there's some Fire Academy training classes that we send them to make sure that they can get checked off for that. And then it's a check-off process within the station. We make sure that they can drive and operate all of the trucks. They usually spend at a minimum of 10 hours driving and then 10 hours operating the trucks and the different ones. So they go through and get checked off on our engines, our rescues, and our ladders.
Okay. If someone wants to join the Lancaster Fire Department, how would they go about that?
If they're looking for a job for a career, they would go through and apply. The city's website, they can go through online and find that. And it's the same process for a volunteer. We do have volunteers as well for the City Fire Department, and so they can go on the City of Lancaster's website and apply online and put in an application.
Are there any activities y'all have planned for this year?
Usually our biggest one is our Fire Safety Expo, which is coming up on October 15th, and that's pretty much our biggest activity that we plan as the fire department.
And is that yearly?
It is. It usually occurs in October, somewhere around Fire Prevention Week.
We'll be back and take a break. Becoming a firefighter is not only a good accomplishment, it also takes hard work and commitment. Coming up, we'll find out more about the Fire Expo coming this October. The Fire Expo we try to have yearly is finally back. Here to tell us more about the Fire Expo is Chief Justin McClellan. When and where will the expo take place this year?
This year it is on October the 15th, and it'll be in the Walmart parking lot here in Lancaster on the bypass. It'll start at 10 a.m. and end at 1 p.m.
What are some activities that will be at the expo?
There'll be a bunch of booths and different vendors, safety aspects. Well, the fire department, of course, will be there, and we'll invite all of the county volunteer fire departments, so everybody will have a fire truck on display. So there'll be plenty of trucks on display for kids to get in and climb through. Plenty of giveaways for fire safety material for children as well as adults. We'll also have law enforcement there, as well as EMS and other emergency agencies that'll be there showing off their equipment and allowing kids and vendors to come through and check out things. We'll have food trucks and different options for food for people to be able to purchase while they're there as well, and games for kids to play. We'll have a little mini combat challenge, which allows kids to go through and do some different things like a firefighter and run through an obstacle course. Have a hose there for them to be able to spray water and put out a fake fire that we have in a house. They can put down the flames. So just a bunch of different activities for kids, a lot of vehicles for them to get up in and climb and play on.
Is there something for all ages to do at the expo?
There are. It's mainly geared towards children, but again, we'll have information for adults, different fire safety tips and handouts for them to take home with them as well to plan and make sure their house is fire safe as well. And then the other vendors that'll be there, there'll be people there that may be selling some different things that they make or they offer at their place, and then information that they can pick up from other booths and vendors that are there.
What is the goal of the Fire Expo?
Just to promote fire safety. We usually have it right around Fire Prevention Week. This year it ends on Saturday the 15th, so when our expo will be. So it'll be just an event just to promote fire safety, to spread the word about fire safety in the homes and in your workplace, and make sure people are as safe as possible to try to prevent any fires from happening.
Are there any special people coming to present?
This year, like I said, the big will be all of the fire departments within Lancaster County will be there, and then the EMS as well as the city police department and county sheriff's office will be there. So some of the main headliners that we'll have, and that we're really excited that they take part and partner with us throughout the expo this year.
What is it likely to plan an event like this?
It takes a lot of work. We have a committee that our training officer and our admin assistant usually kind of head up the process of making sure that we cover everything that we need, contacting vendors and contacting people to take part. A lot of time and effort goes in on their part to putting everything together to make sure that we get all of our handouts ordered and all the material that we need, contacting everyone that'll be there. We'll have a face painter for kids to be able to get their face painted, and we'll have a clown that'll make balloon art for kids and things like that. So making sure that we have everybody lined up and purchased for the event. So a lot of time and effort does go into putting it on. They'll usually work on it for several months leading up to the event.
Who are the sponsors and how do they help make a difference?
I guess really the city of Lancaster, because they provide some funds for us to be able to buy the things, and then all of the other emergency service agencies. Walmart is a big one because they partner with us to allow us to use the parking lot to be able to set the event up each year. So those are some of our big sponsors.
Are the other fire stations involved?
They are. The county, all of their stations will have a fire truck or some type of vehicle from their fire department there at the expo, so they take part, as well as the city fire department, to make sure that we put it on and kind of do it together throughout the year to be able to promote fire prevention and fire safety to everyone.
What has the turnout been like in the past?
It's usually really good. We've had anywhere from several hundred to close to 1,000 people just guesting throughout the time whenever we have it. As long as there's beautiful weather outside, and it'll be well attended. You know, and being on a Saturday and at Walmart, a lot of people are coming, so we'll get kids and then people that were just going to the store to shop that didn't know what was going on. They'll be there, so it's usually pretty heavily attended.
If someone wanted more information about the expo, where should they go?
They could come to one of the fire stations, the city fire department, either our university station across from the college or our main station on Arch Street beside the police department, and we can give them a lot more information.
Why is safety so important?
Just to try to prevent accidents. We don't want, of course, anyone to get hurt, whether it be medically or fire. So we're trying to prevent anything from taking place within the home. It costs a lot of money to purchase a home, so if we can prevent damage from a fire or from some other type of events, then it's beneficial to the homeowners and to the residents of that house. And then medical-wise, just making sure that people are whether it be driving or having some type of incident, that they're safe. So anything that we can do to promote safety in the home or in your daily life is very important to us.
What is an underlooked aspect of fire safety?
A lot of times just making sure that people are being safe, and then as far as kitchen safety, if it's something that something as simple as just paying attention. A lot of times, people take for granted that they can walk away just for a second while they got something on top of the stove on the eye, and they'll be right back, but it only takes a second for something to occur. So just that second of walking away just to do something in the other room is a lot of times just something common that causes a lot of damage within a home, because it can lead to a fire because people are just not paying attention to what they're doing, and they think, well, I'm just going to run in here to the other room for a second and come right back, and they lose track of time, and next thing you know, smoke alarms are going off in their home because there's something on fire in the kitchen.
Is there a certain person that's over the fire expo?
Technically, we kind of let our committee be over it. So again, that would be David Melton and Carolyn Funderburk kind of do a lot of the planning, but they would be kind of the lead on the expo.
All the time we have today. Thank you for joining us. Is there anything else you would like to add?
Just, we hope that everybody can take time to come out to the expo again Saturday, October the 15th, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Walmart parking lot here in Lancaster on the bypass. There'll be a lot of activities and things for kids to do as well as adults. A lot of free giveaways. We try to make sure that there aren't things that are going to cost money. Again, some of the food may cost, but all the activities that we put on as emergency services will be free. We'll have a lot of handouts and good material for kids. We'll have backpacks and helmets and coloring books and things for the kids to take. So there'll be a lot of good handouts for everybody and things that they can take part in. So we just hope that everybody will come and take part. And so it's a good community event, and we like to promote fire safety, and this is something that we can do each year to do that.
That's all the time we have for today. If you have any questions or comments about the show, please contact us at learn.tv@lcsd.k12.sc.us. You can watch our content on vimeo.com/LearnTV, or our YouTube page, search Learn TV Lancaster. We are also on Caporium Channel 114. Again, I'm Riley McClellan, and thanks for watching In the Flames.